What's up, guys? This is BKC back in modded Borderlands. Let's see. Last time we did all the assassination missions. So I think what we need to do. Well, I probably should have picked up the missions to do the get the Happy Pig Motel running, but I'll do that when I come back from Frostburn Canyon, and we want to go check the vending machines there and try to get us a dang cryo weapon, because this is kind of exciting. I don't think, like I said, I think they'll probably drop when slag weapons drop, which I think is around level 15, because another thing with these arbitrary limitations on the game was this part of the game. A lot of people, like, especially when Krieg came out, you know, they're like, oh, put a whole fire tree on Krieg, and then right when you can start speccing into it, send me to a fire-resistant area. And I never really had a problem with fire-resistant enemies because they have non-elemental weapons that actually do more damage. So it was kind of a bullshit argument, but I could see where it could piss some people off who wanted to do elemental Krieg, and then basically anybody who played any character, because the game is just dropping naturally. It would drop fire SMGs left and right, and then they send you to a fire element.
Unexpected.
Now, even if this was a green sniper rifle, those little bitty guys, if you crit, they always explode because my badass rank is so high. So it's not none of the mods doing that. That was just, I got a crit on a little guy without any health, and he just exploded. So yeah, I'm really want to get a cryo weapon, start playing with it more. But yeah, I can see where people got aggravated, you know, back in the old days. It's like, oh, good game level design. You drop us all kinds of fire weapons, and then you send us to a fire area. Now, I think this chest is over here for the mission where you go collect the echoes for Lilith. But I always come over here and check it, and then I check that chest over there. To me, I would think a bullet mong would be like a small-brained, kind of like a gorilla on our planet. But they don't seem too super smart, so they probably got a kind of small brain. And I would think if you would crit them, you would kill them, just like any normal creature. And I don't think this is overpowered. And plus, they're level 7 bullet mongs with a level 7 blue sniper rifle. I don't think that's overpowered. I think that's pretty actually appropriate. Now, when sniper rifles start to not keep up with the damage of the game, and most people start abandoning them. Okay, y'all about to get 3-dogged. Ghoul! I never seen a rack do that. I didn't even know you could crit a rack. I didn't think critting racks was a thing. Is that something only the 3-dog does, or? I've never seen a rack, or did I catch multiples and then... I've never seen a rack split apart like that. Am I doing that much damage? Did I get that much pellets into his hitbox that he exploded? I've never seen a rack explode, or maybe I exploded them, but they just were too far away and I thought they just disappeared. I don't know. You know, like, you get to the next area where they got the fire, what are they called, pyromaniacs or something. This 3-dog wouldn't do 0 damage. It's just it would show resist for the fire part. Matter of fact, let's test that. Like, it's not even getting through his shield. But that does. See, that's something broken on, like, I think what they Borderlands broke through that. Did you throw that? That flamethrower kind of reminds me of something I wanted to talk about. Lately, since there's like all the people who did Borderlands playthroughs and news and reviews and all that stuff, since the content for that's been dried up because they've played it 100,000 times, and there's no real news on Borderlands. Borderlands 3, they're kind of doing real good. We know they're working on it. Everybody knows Borderlands 3. We've got artists that's been hired to work on the guns, and you know, it's in development. We know, but with all these bad, like, hype trains that, like, EA and what's the one that does all the Ubisoft and all that, they hyping the crap out of all these AAA games, and people are getting like and buying into it, and then the game comes out and the game is garbage, meaning that these publishers do not know what their fan bases want anymore. And then people are telling them like how good they're doing because they're so hyped, and then they spend $60 on the game and they got to convince themselves like it's so good. Oh yeah, this is good, this is good. But like a lot of titles that's been coming out have been garbage, you know. And you know, the whole fiasco with No Man's Sky, and you know, they tell, oh, this is in the game, all this is in the game, and then you get the game. Like, I didn't buy it because I said I'm gonna wait till reviews come out because I don't think all this is gonna be in one game. And then there was one interviewer. I think they interviewed the guy, or they would just show us some footage of an interview, and these were kind of like one of those online game shows or something, or one of them journals, kind of like set up like ESPN, and one guy was like praising it, talking about how awesome it's gonna be and can't wait till it comes out. And then another guy says, yeah, but what's the gameplay loop? I didn't see any gameplay in there. It looks like you just manage your inventory, you mine stuff. It doesn't look like very good mining. It doesn't look like you have a lot of inventory, and then what do you do with that? Like, I don't see anything, like, what's the gameplay loop? And everybody was like, oh, shut up, you're just being negative. And it's like, no, personally, I don't see a gameplay loop in No Man's Sky. If you just form to build, like, fuel so you could go to another planet, so you could farm, so you could build more storage, so you could farm more, so you could build more fuel to go to another planet. I'm like, I don't see the gameplay loop. I don't see, like, they show all these cool animals and stuff, and the animals were attacking, and the guy got into the spaceship, and I'm like, first of all, I don't see that. Like, you know, this is a demo, and it's supposed to be procedurally generated. And if all worlds were procedurally generated with all those pretty animals on it and stuff, the game would get quite boring, you know. So I was like, some planets have to be barren and thing, and they never really showed that. They showed like an acid planet where, you know, if you couldn't be out your ship for long or something like that. But I was like, okay, well, that's a planet I wouldn't want to stay on. And then they didn't really show that much, and I was like, yeah, I don't see the gameplay loop in this game. I'm gonna wait till it comes out. And then when it did come out, I saw people playing, and I was like, this looks like garbage. Like, none of the stuff that they said was in it was in it. And then the video started showing out like you'd never find another player in the game because the universe is so big, and the first day people found each other, and you were supposed to be able to see each other, but like they couldn't see each other.
Should be around here somewhere. Stay alert.
Like
That's weird. The
what was
bloodshot
it?
bandit seems to be attacking the Firehawk's lair.
The Grand Theft Auto knockoff with hacking that Ubisoft did.
That or just follow the screen.
When that came out, I was like, yeah, the graphics look okay, about the same as what Grand Theft Auto is 2 years earlier, but it seems like it's just knocking off Grand Theft Auto and it doesn't look fun. And a friend of mine who streams was like, oh man, I got that for my stream and I can't wait to play it. And the night that it came out, he had to wait like a week before he could play it for some reason. I think some kind of way he got like a really cheap deal on it, but then the website messed up his order or something, so he had to wait a whole week. And I watched a couple of streams of people playing it. And I think it was Morning After Kill I was watching. Morning was like, this is terrible. This is not fun. Like, it doesn't like Grand Theft Auto. You can't just go around shooting everything. And Mac was doing that. And he's like, I don't like this. This is not fun. And I was like, I kind of agree. I don't really think I'll be buying that either. It doesn't look fun. And then I saw other streamers doing it going, yeah, it's all right. But it's not as fun as the trailer made it to be out. You know, there's hacking mini games and stuff, but it didn't seem like it lived up to the hype. And then the graphics weren't like what in the trailer, and so it was just all around disappointing, in my opinion. So I didn't even buy it, and I've kind of lost faith in EA, Sony, Ubisoft. I'm starting to lose interest in all of them and all. What EA did to the Star Wars, they made the first Star Wars game, and I was like, all they did is copy and paste a Battlefield game, and then just put Star Wars characters in it, and then there's no gameplay here. I don't really see any good gameplay. It's literally just a tech demo. It's not really a game, it's just a tech demo. And then they said, oh, well, we're going to add stuff to it, and we're going to make these patches, and we're going to do all this. And I'm like, no, that should be in the game from day one. And I think Angry Joe did a review on it. It was like diorama mode. That's what you spent your time? Like, you collect trophies and you get to look at them on a diorama? Like, I, too, agree that that is a waste of development time. Okay, come with me, sir. Actually, I kind of want you... Well, you can come this way. It doesn't matter.
I'm gonna gouge your eyes out!
Hold it!
Beat his ass. Beat his ass or beat his ass? So, when they made the Star Wars, the second one, they're like, oh, look at all this new stuff, and then they put loot boxes in it. And I was like, okay, well, I won't be buying that either. And then they took them out, and they said, oh, well, we're sorry, you know, and they got in trouble with authority. Look, he slowed down. He did slow down. He got cryo barreled, and he slowed down. So that's cool. So it is a thing. It is...
Die for me, bitch!
So I could probably get cryo shields too. Cryo spike shields would be awesome if they're in the game. Okay, sir, you kind of get a little unruly there. Need to find you some enemies to keep you entertained. Maybe get you a buddy.
I'll crack your skull open with my thumb!
Come kick this dude's butt. Come kick his butt. I'm gonna go get some ammo while you kick his butt. Oh, come near me. Look, there's a midget behind you. Play with him. There you go. Come play with this guy. Give me a...
I think they want to play, got it? You're pissing me off!
Another challenge complete.
Mastic? I hate this one, Mastic. Give me one change the community patch has made is they put a loot pool on Goliath, and now they can drop legendaries. I don't think it works like if the higher level you get them, the better gear they drop. They just, I think, added a chance to drop legendaries. I think they were locked at purples.
Please stop.
And I think they just changed it to now they have a small chance of dropping a legendary. So same thing as I think basically they just get the loot midget pool. They get their pool plus a loot midget pool. So there's a chance that instead of a purple or one of the blues they drop,
I love my powers.
they could drop a legendary. So he didn't really drop me anything really. Like, okay, well that's a trance, which is a decent fire, but everything in here is fire resistant. The loot midgets never could drop legendary shields. You had to get that from a tubby. They added the shields to the midgets loot pool. And I think when you get to the Ultimate Vault Hunter, there was a first generation of pearlescence and then a second generation of pearlescence, and you couldn't get the second or I don't remember, vice versa. I don't remember if it was the first generation came from Pete, and then the second generation came from loot midgets. I don't remember what it was, but they basically changed it to where the loot midgets can drop all the pearlescence, so you don't even have to go to Digistruct Peak if you don't want. Oh, I forget. Bastard does that. If he comes after you on this level for some reason, I don't know why.
Nothing can stop me!
See, of course they can't say, oh, they can't say I've been cryoed because they'd have to change all the audio. That's like, you know, they can't match the voices and all that stuff. That's too much for just a single. You'd have to get like a creation kit, and then you'd have to get developers and the voice actors who did it, and it'd just be a mess. But
Welcome to die! Angry!
when I cryoed it, they did slow down. They killed my Goliath because it did damage over time. But hey, you can kill yourself, dude. Why didn't he take damage from that barrel? He was set on fire. Okay, you're getting unruly. Don't get unruly. You could play. I'll let you play with some of my enemies if you don't get unruly.
I'm gonna count!
Okay, you're getting unruly again. Try to check these chests. And you're getting unruly. Okay, did I get all these? I didn't get this one.
Ever been strangled with your own intestines?
Stop!
I'll break you in half!
Didn't get the money out of that because he's being unruly. Okay. I got a good position on that ladder without him getting me. He can't climb ladders. Ooh, I'll take a pushka. Look, dude. See, you done killed yourself. You done got all unruly on me. See, I wanna mention this for all new players. See, damage. Damage doesn't mean everything, okay? If you just get all the guns that are available in the limited chest that you get, this is going to be the weapon you're stuck with. Because a rocket torpedo does massive damage, okay? But it consumes 2 ammo per shot. Now, it does do 50% splash damage on top of that, so you're getting about, 94% splash damage, 94 damage and splash damage on top of that. That weapon, although it could be a good weapon, it's got a super low fire rate. It uses 2 ammo per shot. It's got a crappy reload speed. Everything about that weapon is crap. So
This is unusual.
don't think that
The Firehawk
damage
has harassed the
is
Bloodshots for
everything.
some time, but they have never
I'm
mounted
watching
such
so
a
many
large-scale
people do
assault on the
playthroughs of this
Firehawk
game who
before.
are like new
I wonder
players,
what's given them
and
such
they just
confidence.
lock onto the damage.
Keep going, Bloodshots.
Just accept that all weapons in the early part of the game are crap,
We're gonna make the
and
Firehawk choke to death
play the
on
game
his
through
own
playthrough
feces.
1 and just learn what the weapons do. Don't fixate so much on like, oh, this does 1 damage. Like, I know in Maliwan SMGs, Maliwan barrel is always going to be the best. I like this Trance barrel pretty good. A Hyperion barrel's okay. A Bandit barrel doesn't really do anything for a Maliwan, but you know, the dull barrels just make them super accurate, and I like that. Ooh, good. You're gonna take this guy with me. You listen, you hear that sound that guy made? Like it even sounded different from the revolver. Where'd all this blood come from? Jeez.
Die for me, bitch!
Okay, you play with him.
Shut
I don't want that guy on me.
I want everything you got!
Yeah, I don't want... where I was going with this, talking about... Who got that?
Feels so right!
Then he's gonna
Wasn't
die.
even close.
This spider ant is kicking my butt.
Solid struggle.
Are you serious? That didn't kill it? They're killing themselves on my shield. I can't wait to see if cryo shield exists. Well, no, because there's no slag. There's no slag freaking shield. Well, I don't know. The antagonist is a slagged, basically a slag impaler with a boosted Maya's kinetic reflection on it. Is it good? No, what is it? Is it good? I don't remember. The one with the mirror on it. Makes her reflect bullets. Where I was going with people getting on the hype train and all these bad games and stuff is people who are doing Borderlands content are kind of dry on it. And they're basically anytime Randy tweets anything, they start these speculation things and they put out these videos with no duping in Borderlands 3 or, you know, or server only like Destiny, and it's like, come on, stop with that crap. If they do that, then Borderlands is dead because Borderlands isn't Borderlands anymore. And then Randy's already tweeted, then they never bring up the fact that Randy tweeted he wanted to be there for the single players. Well, if you put a single player or people who don't have internet, how are you there for your fan base if you don't, you know? That doesn't make sense. Leave Borderlands the same way, and then people are saying, oh, well, they're going to go always online. Well, guess what? They always were online with their shift system. I think the news he was tweeting about is his shift system is just going to let him do, you know, it's going to be exactly like it is, but the shift system is going to push forward patches instead of them having to wait for Sony and place, you know, Xbox to push a patch through. And with Steam, you know, I don't know if they have to pay for that or whatever, or they can only push through so many patches that, you know, you can't just every day just willy-nilly push patches through.
Punch your skull into your tum-tum!
I think that's all they're trying to really do is just make their system like that. I don't really think they're trying to do always online, and if they do, I mean, I got a decent enough internet, but if you're not going to let me play with mods and keep all my guns server-side, guess what? I don't want to play your game no more, and you will be losing a customer in me.
Your eyes out!
And then they never really. They never really said that. So, I mean, I'm not going, oh, well, if they do that, I'm not never buying a Borderlands. But if they do that and they take away our mods and stuff, then yeah, you're definitely losing a customer in me. Because if I wanted to play Destiny, I would go play Destiny. Don't try to be like Destiny. Don't put all that stupid loot boxes and microtransaction. You do that, then you're not Borderlands anymore. You just sell Gearbox, the whole development studio, sell it to EA and just be done with the franchise, and just, you know, Randy could just go ahead and retire with his you know, EA money, because you're not making Borderlands games anymore. And then EA is not going to make Borderlands games. They're going to make, you know, Destiny clones, and they're going to be filled with loot boxes, and they're not going to be fun. With server side and microtransactions and loot boxes, you're going to do all that and forget about it. So I wish the people would stop hyping the game up because, and saying all this crap, because some of it simply might not be true, and some people might believe it and get all hyped, and then when Borderlands comes out, it's nothing like what you think, and they're gonna be like, oh, it's a terrible game, and it could be actually a great game, but you can't know if you like it or not until it comes out. So stop like hyping the game up and boosting it, and then you gotta go out the realization that Borderlands wasn't considered a like AAA game. It was just something that they gambled on, and then it really actually didn't do that good in the beginning, but then word of mouth got out. Remember, this is all before like the internet. Go try to find a Borderlands one playthrough on YouTube. Nobody had the equipment for it, but I mean, you still had message boards and stuff, and word of mouth got around, and then it started doing good, and then it kind of got a cult following where people were like, oh, you know, this is an awesome game, and then more people started buying, and then all of a sudden it became a hit, but it really didn't do good at first. And then once people got word of mouth, so if people wouldn't have got the word of mouth advertising out, the game could have died a miserable death, and then they've been like, oh, we're never doing that again because it didn't make money. We lost money on that. And then once people got word out that it was good, people started playing it and started selling more, and they're like, well, we're definitely going to do another one, you know? And then they basically, they didn't really change anything on Borderlands 2. If you think about it, they had Roland the Commando. Borderlands 2 has Roland Axton the Commando. They basically fixed everything that was wrong with Axton, like his turret couldn't rotate, and
that was something.
His turret couldn't rotate, and then like his I got a little diagram written down here. Like Roland was the medic, his turret could heal. Well, they moved that over to Maya. Axton is really the commando, and then Roland, what did he get? What did he move over to Sal? Oh, like his ammo regen, his turret could drop ammo. Well, that got moved over to Sal's team regen. Lilith could phase walk, which was just a Zero's deception. And then except Lilith could add elemental damage to it, where Zero can't add damage to his... he adds damage while he's in reception to get that last shot. He has like a rising shot out of his deception. So Lilith moved her action skill over to Lilith is a siren, Maya's a siren. Lilith's action skill kind of moved over to Zero. Mordecai was the sniper gunslinger. That was 0. And then Bloodwing is kind of like Death Trap, kind of, in a way, where Bloodwing would do massive damage to one target as soon as you throw him out, wherever you was aiming your sights. And then, you know, Death Trap kind of just sissy punches everything until it dies, and he can kill multiple things. Let's see, who else? Brick was an explosive expert and all that stuff, like his Metal Storm and all his explosive damage and rocket launcher damage. Everything that Brick was good with got moved over to Axton. And then Brick was kind of the berserker, where he dropped his guns and put out his 2 hands, and it got changed into Sal, which is the gunzerker, where he just pulls out 2 guns instead. And then, like, Brick was kind of like the melee character, which got kind of moved to Krieg. And then, you know, Mordecai was kind of 0, but then kind of Gauge a little bit. So basically all they did is just, but I mean, Lilith Siren, Maya Siren, Roland Siren, Axton Siren. Mordecai was kind of like assassin gunslinger. 0's kind of like a assassin gunslinger sniper, but then they kind of added melee into it, which Mordecai had kind of like a killing blow. So I think Mordecai and 0 are very similar, but I still liked Mordecai better. Axton is far superior in every aspect to Roland, except maybe the way they divided up his healing skills, to where he can only heal when he's either doing damage or when he is got full shields, and really that's not a good time to be healing. You kind of want to be healing when you're not doing that stuff. So, you know, so he's mostly improved over Roland in every way. I think Maya's 10 times better than Lilith. Brick I didn't really like too much, and his explosive going over to Axton, I love playing explosive. Axton is kind of my favorite. It's lately been my most favorite Axton's play style. And then his melee going over to Krieg, man, I really love Krieg. So, yeah, Brick can, like, if Brick dies in Borderlands 3, I wouldn't be upset. Roland dying, I don't care, because we got Axton. Mordecai, I like Mordecai over Brick, over 0. So, Brick I don't really like, Roland I don't really like, Lilith's okay, and Mordecai I love. Number 1 character, Lilith number 2 character, and then Brick and Roland I just don't really care. Maya number 1 character, Borderlands 2, Krieg number 2, maybe Axton 0. Explosive Axton is definitely number 3. 0, I don't know. 0, he has that duality where he's melee plus gun. And then Gauge is kind of like you can play her Robertier or Anarchy or Wolf, or, you know, not even use Death Trap, just use pure Anarchy on Gauge. I don't know. They both have a couple play styles that I like, so I kind of tie them together. And then I just don't like Sal. I really don't. He's not a bad character. I can play him. I just don't think he's the most fun to level up. When you only have 2 slots, you can only make 1 pair, and you kind of want a long-range weapon and then a short-range weapon or a medium-range weapon, and then when you gunzerk those, like gunzerking a shotgun and a sniper rifle is kind of awkward. You know, gunzerking 2 pistols is not that great. Like a lot of dull weapons, they only good if you aim down sight, and he can't really aim down sight, so it makes a lot of weapons like just not fun with him. And I kind of figured it out. That's really what I don't like Sal. is that he doesn't have a lot of damage buffs. His damage buff is that you get 2 guns, and you just get 2 guns. You get a 200% gun damage buff. And then, but then you can't crit with that 200% gun damage buff. Whereas 0, you pop Deception, you get a 200% gun damage buff, and you can
That
crit.
shut him up.
So you can do massive damage with 0. And then when you get 3 slots, you get that awkward where you can switch between all 3 guns, and you're always looking for the right combination, and the gun that you want in his offhand is not in his offhand, and you got to keep switching and try to get it to do right. And I just find him awkward to level up. But once he levels up, once he's fully built out, I find there's a few ways I like to play, but I kind of wanted him to be a tank, and his Brawn tree didn't allow that. His I'm Your Juggernaut skill, which gave him damage reduction, was a kill skill, and it was only for like a few seconds. I would like that to like maybe Plasma Caster. I'm gonna wreck some bandits with this thing. Let's see. What was it? I forgot. I didn't forget. I got so excited over a plasma caster. I done forgot. But